Number 7. So, the 7th time with Masi as full-time race director since he took over from Charlie Whiting after Charlie's sad passing, start of the 2019 season. 7th time that Masi has carried out this procedure in a Grand Prix where a safety incident has taken place, the safety car is deployed, and cars have been lapped. So this is the 2020 Eifel Grand Prix staged at the Nürburgring in Germany. Now, you can see from data view, Norris in 6th place has been lapped, but Norris has just pulled over at the side of the track, is now out of the race. So I'll cut to track view, we'll play it through. I think I've done this one before, I'm pretty sure I've done this one before. We'll play it through quickly without you having to listen to the bullshit of Brundle and Crofty speculating about whether it's a mandatory procedure or not. We'll just focus on what Masi and the other at least 9 people in FIA Race Control actually do. Okay, let's focus on what actually happens and ignore the bullshit speculation from Brundle and Crofty. So you can see from Leclerc downwards in that race, they've all been lapped, so they'll all need to be released. I'm going to shut the volume down, go over to tracker view once again. So Norris, turn 6, orange dot, turn 6, now stationary. That then causes the deployment of the safety car. At this moment in time, the race leader is Lewis Hamilton, and he is approaching turn 12, following Sainz. So you'll see him make it around the track. So what we're expecting to see at some point in time is the safety car to pick up Hamilton, the field to bunch behind Hamilton, and then those lapped runners to be released, and then time given for them to pass the released, which means that they've passed the leaders and the safety car, and then time given for them to make it around the track and catch the back of the safety car snake, and then them go racing again. There seem to be no hugely significant gaps between the competitors on data view at the point in time where the incident occurred. Hence, I would expect uniform gaps to be achieved for when Masi decides it's appropriate to go racing again. So we will see what happens. I'm going to start chunking this forward using the 10-second forward key just to speed this process through. So it looks like, and it has, Hamilton's pitted. You can see on this bar down the right hand side of the screen, Hamilton's in the pits and Sainz is in the pits. Verstappen has jumped into the pits as well. You can see if the dots disappear around this section here, drivers have gone off track and into the pits. So Sainz has emerged from the pits, Hamilton has emerged from the pits just there. So look, what's Leclerc doing? Gasly looks like he's gone into the pits. Okay. Dot disappeared. You can see there's like a jink in the dot and then it disappears. Here, there you go. Let's have a look at Raikkonen. Yeah, he's gone into the pits. Grosjean stays out on track. See, Grosjean's still going down the track. Raikkonen's dot disappeared. But you see it kind of jinks upwards as it comes round turn 15. It kind of jinks upwards if it's gone into the pits. Okay, otherwise it stays out on track. So, and you'll see on this bar down the right hand side of the screen the fact that it's registering they've gone into the pit. Anyway, Hamilton is leading the race. It's highly likely that he's following the safety car now. Leclerc is sat directly behind Hamilton. We know that Verstappen is the second place competitor in this event. So it's pretty clear now that Leclerc, being a lapped competitor in 6th place, Hamilton's ahead of him, so Leclerc's lapped. So 6th place downwards will need to be released. So let's chunk it forward until that point happens. And he's still there. And what we're seeing happening is gradually the field of competitors is all catching up and all forming up in a line behind Hamilton and that safety car. Okay, all gradually catching, and the lapped cars have not been released yet. Sainz is the at the back of the field there, but Sainz is the last competitor on the lead lap. The last lapped car is Daniel Kvyat, this white dot that's approaching turn 7. Okay, Ricciardo, Perez, and Sainz are in positions 3, 4, and 5 in this race at the moment. So we'll chunk it, well, press play, but we'll chunk it forward. So there we go. Leclerc has now been released, followed by Grosjean, and then Gasly. Hulkenberg's making it past, and then we should see Giovinazzi pass Hamilton, followed by Magnussen, the blue dot of Latifi. Vettel, is he making it past yet? There goes Vettel. We're looking for Raikkonen and Kvyat. The white dot needs to be the last car to have passed Hamilton. Raikkonen's gone. What about the white dot of Kvyat? And that's showing us Kvyat just before they cross the start-finish line. Kvyat's been released. Okay, so this lap that they're now on is that mandatory safety car lap. So once the last lapped car has passed the lead car and the safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. So this is that lap that follows that lap on which all those lapped cars were released. They're doing it now. Those lapped cars are disappearing off. The safety car is leading those front runners around. There's 5 cars on that lead lap. Well, they're all on that lead lap now, and these are just catching them. The gap between each of these competitors, look at the gaps between each of those front 5 competitors. They weren't the gaps at the time of the incident. They've all been condensed up to what they are now. They'll end up being around about half a second in between each car. Each of them competitors has been afforded that luxury of having the chance of catching up with the car that they were chasing. The only person that suffers in this is actually the leader, who had built up a gap. Everybody else gains. They get to be within half a second of the person that they're supposed to be racing. Okay, that's the way that this procedure pans out. But if that's happened to these 4 that'll be on Hamilton, Verstappen's got the advantage of being able to catch Hamilton. Ricciardo's had the advantage of being able to catch Verstappen. Perez, the advantage of being able to catch Ricciardo. Sainz, the advantage of being able to catch Perez. That same advantage should be afforded to every other competitor in that race. So Leclerc should be given the chance of being on the back of Sainz. Is he going to be given that chance? And we'll see. Because technically speaking, to the letter of the rules, the letter of them regulations, they can resume racing now. At the end of this lap, when they cross the start-finish line, that safety car can peel in and they start racing again. What does race control do? In the form of Michael Masi and at least 9 other FIA personnel in the race control office, sat at them screens, experienced personnel who know what they're doing, know the rules of the sport, know what the purpose of those rules are. Sat in that situation time after time after time and witnessed this time after time after time in the same way that I know this, and I'm just a mere spectator. I'm just a member of the public. I'm not even an F1 journalist who also should have the level of expertise that can expose this. So fuckers such as the BBC's Andrew Benson that has never exposed this. Fuckers that are being paid by British effectively taxpayers' money, because it effectively becomes a tax that you have to pay for the BBC, British media, okay, that shouldn't be being paid off by Liberty Media and this filthy sport of F1. People like him don't tell the truth about what is really going on in this sport. He should have the expertise to be able to clearly explain what is going on here and what was wrong with Abu Dhabi. And you don't hear it from him. You don't hear it from any F1 journalist anywhere. Why? Why? That is because they're all parroting the same narrative. This narrative of corruption. They fixed Abu Dhabi. Look at what Masi did. This is the 7th time that Masi has done this. The 7th time. He's done this is the second lap after they were released. This is his discretion. This is the 15.3. I've showed you this in a previous video. Okay? But this is the 7th occasion, and there's 10 prior to Abu Dhabi, where Masi was the race director. He's deployed the safety car to deal with an incident. Lap cars were in situ. He's released them lap cars, and he has then made his assessment and resumed racing at an appropriate time. It's nothing to do with getting them out of the way of the race between the leaders. It is entirely to ensure that sporting fairness is allowed to every competitor in that race. Look at this as they cross the start-finish line to resume racing. Look at the situation that them cars are in. One behind the other, correct race order with equivalent gaps between all cars. That is what them rules and regulations are designed to best achieve. And if they don't perfectly achieve that, they are designed to ensure that no competitor is adversely affected by the introduction of a safety car to deal with a safety situation in a Grand Prix. If you were in a position where you were, for example, 30 seconds behind the competitor you should have been able to challenge, the race director should not resume that race with you being cast adrift further than 30 seconds behind that competitor you were previously challenging. You should be in a situation of at least parity, if not closer to what you were previously were, in accordance with them regulations, and be in a similar state to the advantages that have all been given to all the other competitors in such a scenario. That's the end of this one. Next one will be the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix 2020. That'll be the 8th example. See you soon.